Okay, so you've looked over those resources, and let's have a quick recap about some of the key points there. In the radio clip, one of the key points that you probably noticed is that students who take notes with a laptop don't retain information as well as those who are writing by hand because they're trying to write down too much. When you're on the laptop, you're so focused on trying to get every single word, and you're able almost to get every single word, that you're just focusing on getting everything down. You're not really thinking about the information that's coming in. You're just getting it and putting it into the computer. This is why the laptop is not your friend when it comes to taking notes. You want to write less and think more, listen more, think about what the information is saying, and then write down the key points, the evidence, the vocab, just those words and phrases that are the most important. The next couple of articles were about the same studies. So there's an academic article and then kind of a more popular science article, and they're both about the same 3 studies. And 3 studies were done, all looking at the results of 2 test groups, students who took laptop notes and students who took longhand or handwritten notes. And when the 3 studies were completed, all 3 found that those who were taking notes by hand retained and understood information better and for longer. So in one of the studies, the students had to look at a TED Talk, or I think it was 5 different TED Talks. And they had half of them wrote on the laptop, half of them wrote by hand. And what they found at the end was a difference in what the students could talk about in terms of the facts of the talk and the facts and the concepts of the talk. So those students who wrote by hand did much better with understanding the concepts of the TED Talk in addition to the facts. So they had a more brain engagement during the TED Talks while they were writing things down, so they were understanding better the concepts behind the ideas, more than the kids with the laptops. Another one of the studies looked at the difference between laptops and handwriting with or without time to study. So the students could do laptop or handwritten notes. They listened to some different lectures, all the same. They were all listening to the same information. And what they found was that everyone did better with time to review, but those with laptops, even given time to review before a test, did much worse than those who wrote by hand. So those who wrote by hand remembered better with or without time to review. And they did significantly better when they were able to review their handwritten notes. So those studies to me all point to the fact that laptops are not your friend when it comes to writing down information, new information when it's coming in. Another thing that was not mentioned too much is that the laptop is a major distractor. It's a distractor for you as you're using it because of various notifications and things that come up, the ability to quickly zoom over to other windows and things. It's also a distractor for those around you. So if I'm in a class and I'm trying to write by hand or laptop or whatever, if I can see somebody else's screen, it can become a distractor for me. And this is just something I know from anecdotal knowledge as I see students working in classes, and even my daughter who is in college and has this big, huge lecture hall to sit in. She sits in the front or as close to the front as she can, so she doesn't have all of these screens staring back at her from students who are taking notes on laptops. So I hope you are now convinced that handwriting is the way to go.